Winston Peters on Lynch Media. COVID inquiry. This is a brief extract from the quality independent news media outlet, Lynch Media, where Winston Peters answers and comments on many questions regarding the COVID inquiry. The interview appears on both New Zealand First's and Lynch Media's websites. I have put links to them both below, and in the description. I highly recommend that you watch the full interview and also keep an eye on Lynch Media's independent quality journalism. Thank you Winston Peters and Lynch. Geraint, on behalf of WhangareiTim.
Well, they expressed it in this phrase, this is the podium of truth. Now, in a medical or scientific sense, that was an appalling, arrogant statement to make, and the mainstream media just fell for it. This is being shut down or gaslit by the mainstream media, who were complicit in the extreme. That's the reason why they're dying, because the people know that this is not a place where you'll find both sides of the story if you go to the mainstream media. Look, outside the Fourth Court of Parliament, during the protest, where some people were losing 35 years of their business and all their staff, losing everything they ever had, or had been mandated out of a job because they didn't agree with the vaccine. Didn't matter whether they had a wife or children or a husband and mortgages, they were just being gaslit out of the darn thing. We want an inquiry in which the people can trust the outcome. I'm a vaccinated person myself. But what I got offended by when I was in the cabinet at the time was this talk that this is the podium of truth, that there was no reason to challenge any of the scientific findings. Internationally, all this evidence is emerging where people took the vaccine and got seriously ill or died. But they didn't want to have any of that. They just said things like, if you take this vaccine, you'll not be a transmitter. My response to Mr. Hipkins is, no, Mr. Hipkins, I made this commitment a long way out with my colleagues and a party called New Zealand First, and I campaign, and I'm not paying to anyone. I'm going to make sure that you get to be in this inquiry yourself, explaining what your role was. They also exempted 11,000 civil servants. No one was told that. So while they were out there gaslighting people out of their economic existence and imperiling their future incomes, their ability to pay for the family and pay for the mortgage and the rates and all that, they themselves were making exceptions and never told anyone. How do you like that? I want to know and have an inquiry where at the end of it, we, the public of this country, can trust what we've learned to better handle the next crisis of this nature. We are not being transparent, trying to find the truth. It's being used for political purposes. Well, look, when I left that coalition government and discovered that an inquiry that was manipulative and extreme called a purpur had been hidden from me, the person that was dealing with the United Nations, I knew what a disgusting betrayal had taken place.
Winston Peters, nice to speak with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.